Just received a call with the tutoring request that I won't actually be able to fill and help because of my schedule as well as location. So right now I'm basically just decided to drop everything and go try to figure out if I can find a tutor and hire a tutor in a relatively short period of time that I actually believe in, that is good, that I can see knows what they're doing, so that I can call the lady back and be like, actually I think we can help you. I found someone who's really good, and see if we can figure that out. So crossing my fingers I can find someone. Odds are not in my favor, but you know, worst case scenario, I lose the one customer, I gain one tutor. Best case scenario, I gain a tutor quickly and we retain the customer. So hopefully see what happens. But otherwise, this is fine. You'll just practice stuff you know, but you probably won't actually improve much. Because we're seeing twice a week, you're doing 2 hours of French, you probably won't improve a ton. If you're working on something where it's like a project where there's like some sort of like actual emotion connected to it, you'll remember more because you're like, oh, I'm doing this for a purpose, then you'll actually internalize it more. So, so you need something.
Okay.
With my Chinese right now, there's a Chinese song I listen to. I don't understand any of it, but I really like it. I want to understand it. So with my Chinese classes, we're translating, I'm reading out the lyrics. So we translate some of the lyrics. She helps you understand. And then she gives me like exercises with the vocabulary in the song to make me use those words and make sure I really get it. So that for me it works because like I want to understand the song. So like I'm motivated to remember the words because when I hear it, I want to understand what's happening. I had 2 really big takeaways from that French lesson I just taught. Number 1, a really interesting activity you can do is you can actually, in a group lesson, you can have each person in the group actually correct each other's homework or assignment. So for example, I did a French group lesson here with 2 people. Each person had a written homework. They corrected each other's homeworks before I actually corrected it, which can work really well because it makes them apply and use the knowledge that they have in a very different way than they're originally used to. So that's number 1. And number 2, I cannot stress this enough. You have to study languages based around your interests, right? And I had a really long conversation actually with my 2 students because we couldn't even figure out what kind of project we can work on and what kind of interest we could center our lessons around, until finally one student was like, well, I like traveling. Traveling's fun. And so we came up with something interesting of, first of all, learning about a town in the mountains that is very close to my city. And number 2, they're going to actually give me a tour based on the information and all the research that we did. So we're going to actually drive up. My 2 students, they're friends. They're going to give me a tour in French based on all the research we did. So it's like, it's implementing their interest of travel. It's something that's fun and interesting because we're getting out of the city into the mountains, or taking learning into the field, right? And it's just an engaging way to learn. So I cannot stress this enough. When you are learning a language, you have to do it in a way that engages you, that interests you. It is just the most important thing. I'm off to an interview today. I'm about to interview a French tutor, which it's actually funny. Earlier you saw that I was trying to figure out if I can get a French tutor on board, and coincidentally I was able to find one to interview today, which was, to be perfectly honest, very unexpected. It sort of played out in a way I hadn't thought it would, but I'll have to do that right now. And it's actually funny, something occurred to me. I feel like often good interviewing and good meetings in general, in a lot of ways is the same as, it has a lot of similar elements as being a good teacher, or a good private tutor. Because when you're doing a private tutor, a really big piece is listening, and really listening to what your students are saying and what their needs are, so you can actually deliver on them, right? And so when it comes to interviews, I feel like it's the same thing. You're really listening to figure out, like, what will this person need from me? What are their needs from this job? Like, what are they looking for? What do they want? To make sure I can deliver on that for them when they're working for me. So I see that it's definitely I feel like it's a very big commonality.